Sweet. My Zap worked. There's that.
We up and running? Good morning, Bill. It's good to see you.
Morning, Bill. How are you today?
Man, I'm ready to work. It's weird whenever Mondays are like days off. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. So I'm excited to get back to work.
I feel you on that. I didn't do much work yesterday. I kind of just hung out, but yeah, you're right. It's totally weird trying to get 40 hours of work in what's 4 days, feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. What's on your agenda for today?
So yesterday when I was just talking to hear myself talk and to test this whole live stream thing out, I was saying that I think I wanted to adjust my my goal because 15,000 isn't my goal today or this month. My goal's for December 31st, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to do something that I could pace to, which would be like 5,000 a month would be a good place to start.
Okay.
So I just did the math backwards and figured if I got 60 people, I could get about half of those people to go into my group, which would be 30. If I got 30 people in at a 30% close rate, that would get me 10 paid members to my content camp. Since that's the data we were kind of going on. So
yeah.
Today I plan to do 15 asks to get into my group.
Okay. 15 asks. All right. Nice.
What you?
Today I'm going to write the Sherpa because that's on my kind of just like recurring weekly stuff to do. I need to write that. And daily value post, which is another kind of daily thing. And then I think I've got a full-ish day with client stuff. Hold on one second. Which is the other thing, right? The balance of this is that, you know, we both have clients and people that we're working with already. So we've got to be able to make sure that we're taking care of those people as well as prospecting for new leads and growing the business and everything else like that. So it's a multi-pronged approach. Yeah, I've got a 9:30, I've got a 10:30, I've got an 11:30, and then I got a 4 o'clock. So I got a pretty big gap between the 11:30 and the 4, obviously. So I think that what I'll be doing there is doing some of my my learning for this week, and then I need to do some reach outs. And yeah, I've got some conversations going about the placement VA, which is something we talked about last week.
Okay.
But
That's good. So how are you? So like Mondays when you have a holiday, for example, you only have a little bit of a backup in client work in my experience. It's like I've got a lot of heads down work, not necessarily I've got 2 Zoom meetings, but a lot of like just I got to get work done for clients today.
Yeah.
So is that something where you work it into your 9 to 5, or is it like if it takes me till midnight, I'm getting my value post done, or you know?
For me, the way that I stack it is I'm trying to do the stuff that is the hardest earliest, right? So like the value post is a thing that will always kind of fall off my plate. So I try to like start my day with that because I find that it gets me into like a better mindset anyway.
Okay.
But this week was kind of picked with the idea that like last week kind of kicked my ass a little bit, and not in a bad way, but you know, it was just a lot. So this one has already been adjusted down a little bit to make up for missing a day.
Okay. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I say that I do my hard stuff in the morning. I definitely always do something hard in the morning because it's almost like the was it the Navy SEAL or whoever it is that talks about if you do something hard in the morning, it gives you confidence for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just always felt that way. But I avoid other hard stuff that I know I don't want to do because I did one hard thing already.
Yeah.
So, like I did my hard thing. I'm good.
The thing that I've been thinking about and journaling about so much is just this idea that like success is the lagging indicator of priorities and focus.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've been, you know, I put it in our journaling chat, and I've been thinking about it like a ton because, you know, there's nobody that either one of us looks up to who got there by accident, right? It's just like pure focus and pure drive and
discipline.
Yeah. And not to go like all Gary Vee on everybody and be like, oh, you got to hustle 24/7 and work until you die. And because like, I don't think that that's incredibly healthy, but like, there's a difference between, being super busy and being really focused, right? Those are not the same, it's not the same kind of thing. So that's the thing that we're trying to do here, right? Really, really get really clear on our goals, and then set like weekly behaviors and activities that are going to work us towards those goals. But man, I think there's so much out there, like so many shiny things and content, and and everybody wants to sell you something, especially in a B2B space. That, man, just like, who can focus the hardest, right? Who can cut through the bullshit and get stuff done,
Well, it's like who wrote Deep Work? Who's that?
Sal. Is that his name?
I think it's Sal. We have the internet.
I got it.
Yeah, we have the internet. But to me, that's one of the things that clipped me to that too. I was like, holy cow, he's right. Like, the most valuable people are going to be the ones that can focus.
Cal Newport is the guy who wrote that book. And it's a great book.
Sal's his cousin up in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they're related in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But man, that's a great book. But like, to go back before that, I mean, Peak by Anders Ericsson is also really good. It's a lot about flow states. And then there's like the original work by I'm going to butcher this name, Chikai, which is just about flow states in general. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's last name, but I mean, that's a good book. There's the Kotler books around like flow, and I mean, there's a lot about getting into like the deepest zone that you possibly can, so that way you can create really good work from it. So those are
for sure. And then Creative Circle is another good one by Alan. What's his name? He's on LinkedIn. He's a guy that I like. He's up in New York, has a analytics company. Creative Circle. Yeah. And he talks about, can you create atmospheres to be creative in? And he says scientifically, yes, you can. He has all this really great data around it, that you can put yourself in creative states daily, and that they've studied it. So
I love that, because I've got so much head limiting belief around the idea that like I'm not a creative person, right? My grandmother was an artist, and my brother can play any instrument. He's in a band and very artistic and everything else like this. And I just haven't ever really had that outlet. And now I kind of tell myself that I do it through like business, which kind of feels a little bit like a cop out, but I don't really know that it is.
I don't know. It's kind of like the thing where actually I posted up on Instagram yesterday about language, and everyone kind of speaks their own language. And my daughter speaks art, and I speak words. Like, I love words and psychology of words. So like, to me, that's my art. I paint with words. So I think it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know though. I think there's a lot that we tell ourselves that isn't really helpful, right? I mean, I know that I've told myself like all kinds of stories that don't actually like help me towards any of the goals that I'm working on or anything else. So you got to be careful about how you talk to yourself and these kinds of things, because, once you start telling yourself something, it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Sure.
So got to be careful. Oh man, I listened to a sweet podcast over the weekend. A friend of mine sent it to me, and it's all about, this is like a high-end podcast, right? So it's by, oh my God, I'm blanking on it. It's called Against All the Rules, I think. I'll look it up. But it's all about coaching. And the episode that I listened to very specifically was about Tim Galloway, who wrote one of my favorite books, The Inner Game of Tennis, which is just super legit, super fast, quick read. But it's all about the fact that people know what they need to be doing in most coaching situations. So whenever we are over coaching, we're actually hurting the process. So it's, man.
See, that falls right into my thought where you were saying we do this, right? Like, have you read this? Have you read this? Have you read this? Like, you would be so bored if you hung out with me and John for more than 15 minutes, because 50% of what you would hear is, oh, but did you read this? Did you hear this podcast?
Yeah, that's true.
But my thought though was, and I think we've been talking about this a little bit for a while, is we already know everything we need to know to be successful. It's the application of what we already know, which is hopefully what some of this is, right?
Yeah.
It's us going, great, that's a great book, but what are you doing today?
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, we read these books and we pick up this knowledge and everything else like this. And it's weird because, in certain circles, there's this like seminar kind of person who's always looking for the next thing. I've always kind of thought that was a weird type of person, and now like I am that person, right? I'm always looking for like that next little edge, that next little thing that's going to help me. And
Right.
it's crazy because, you know, I'm reading the 12-week year, right? And it is hugely impactful and awesome, and we're going to be implementing some of that. But I can also remember the last time I read a book that was along those lines that I got geeked up about as well. So part of this is holding us accountable to these things that we read. Like, can we actually implement them into our business, and like what happens whenever we do? Because I mean, more knowledge at this point isn't really going to get us closer to where we want to go, I don't think.
It's not the problem that Westerners have. It's not
Yeah.
knowledge. It's well, and we've been talking about this too. Obstacles Away is one of my yearly reads, and it's
Yeah.
because knowledge is easy. It's not an obstacle. So we lean on it because we can definitely rationalize it. This is going to help me. I'm going to apply something here, but there's probably something over here 5 feet away that we need to go run towards. That's likely going to be more useful than another book. So
Yeah.
And I think I told you, gosh, what was it? Yeah, beginning of this year, I was like, all right, how many books should I read this year? Because I was a member of the 100 Books in a Year Club, and I did all those different things, right? And I was like, I'm going to read 3 books this year, and I'm going to reread them over and over and over. I'm just going to pick out 3, and I'm going to apply what's in the books. That's my goal this year. So this setup works well for what I'm trying to do.
So what are the 3 books for you then?
Atomic Habits. So I read it. I loved it. James Clear. And I was just blown away by it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to read another habit book and not apply it, because I know a lot of things, but I want to apply more of it. Another one is a religious book. It's about Psalm. It's one about the sheep. Anyway, it's something that really speaks to me. And so it's one I just wanted to kind of keep reading, right? Because anything, we actually talked about this in your group, your questions group, is when you read something different times of your life, even if it's months apart, not even years apart, you get something different because of the context you're in.
Absolutely.
Different things. And I'm blank on the name of the third one, but it's a physical health book. So I took something mental, spiritual, and physical. I wanted one for kind of each area of my life. But it's something to do with diet, nutrition. About blood health and some things like that. I'll get a list of them, but
awesome.
That's mine. Yep.
Yeah, I'm currently doing, so I finished up Obstacle, which is going to be, that's just going to be a recurring read for me. Like, that's going to be
so good.
My go-to shelf, right? It's going on there. Right now I'm reading the Michael Pollan book about how to change your mind. It's all about psychedelics and how they use it for, addiction and therapeutic uses. It's got like a lot of really cool history on it. And there's some really cool studies going on about how they're using psychedelics and psilocybin specifically to work with like addiction and PTSD and things like this. And so this movement is starting to get some traction, but the book is really cool because it shows that this has all happened before, right? So there's this kind of cyclical nature of using psychedelics for treatment and therapy and stuff like this. And so like it gets momentum and then people get scared and it gets kind of like covered up again. So, because of all the work that they're doing. What's that?
That's why there's cycles, right?
Exactly. Yeah. and so I think we're edging into or coming into a spot where it's going to be thought of and looked at differently, which could be cool. So I'm reading that right now. Cool. And then I got a new version of meditations that is supposed to be the best version of meditations to read, because I had a version of it, but it was all thou and hast and all of these things. So it's really hard.
Yeah, it's like King James for my Christian friends. Like, nope,
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I need to figure out this camera because I'm not sure it's doing a great job, but we'll figure it out. So
yeah, we'll get there. What do you think? Should we end the show with something like a challenge to each other? I'm thinking what's going to get what's in my way today, and so how can we challenge each other we can kind of start tomorrow and go, how'd you do on that thing?
Oh, I like that. Okay,
just a baby one, just like a little something. I mean, for those who don't know me, I am social, so I like to talk to lots of people, but I've not programmed myself to be a natural salesperson to make the ask. So going out and doing like 15 asks in a day sounds like nothing to John, but to me, I've already got like 10-20% anxiety, not much, but a little bit there, of what am I going to say and what are they going to say. So and it's a really easy ask. So I'm not sure what the challenge would be, but
so let's talk about that for a second, right? Because I've been doing this for so long now. Like, I don't have a problem making reach outs and asks and like posting an offer and having conversation about it and stuff like this. But obviously that doesn't go necessarily as far as I thought that I did or that it did. So in these reach outs to these people, like, how do you want to say it's that way you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know what the words are going to be.
Well,
that's what I was going to work on.
Let's role play that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
So,
let's see.
So are you still putting people into these groups, or at this point are they all cold connections, cold traffic?
Oh no, I have definitely warm that I can hit up for sure.
Okay.
I can hit 60 warm. I'm still definitely in my warm circle.
Okay. So where's the anxiety about the ask if these people already know you?
It's not about the ask. It's about, I'm not sure. I think that's part of the problem is I'm not sure where the anxiety is, because I feel like the offer is valuable. They're going to get value if they do it. So that's not a problem. And yeah, like you said, they're people I know. Maybe it's just feeling like I'm crafting the ask or the offer in a way that's going to actually feel valuable to them versus me saying, hey, come be in my group because you're my friend.
So you don't think that you give enough value?
No, I do. I'm just saying I want to make sure the ask is said in a way that it frames it and that, hey, you're going to get a lot of value by coming to this thing. Not, hey, would you come join my group because you're my friend and I need my group to be full.
So it's a framing issue for you.
Yeah. I think
okay. So what kind of questions do you think you can ask somebody to figure out if they're dealing with any of the things that your group solves?
Probably classic networking stuff. We're just walking in and being like, hey, how are things going? Tell me more about what's going on in your business right now. Just very soft stuff like that, so that they can say, oh, I'm dealing with this thing right now, because of COVID, this is happening. Oh yeah, I understand. I'm dealing with this.
So you already know these people, right? You already have some rapport. So, I think that in these situations, we can go ahead and adjust up, right? And go ahead and choke up on the bat a little bit and lead with just like, hey, coming out of COVID, right? Not sure what your game plan is, but a lot of people have some big projects, right? And a lot of projects get done with accountability. I'm putting together a free group. We can build you out some goals, figure out kind of like where your biggest priorities are, and we can start working on that stuff. Like, do you have any interest in that? These people already know you, right? So there's already rapport. There's already some trust there. So you don't have to go in there like as cold and try to build rapport as like, oh, hey, like, how's it going? I mean, rapport is good, but like rapport just for the sake of rapport is not necessarily what you want to be doing. So if they already know you, you can get to the point quicker.
Okay.
Right. Hey, a lot of people are going to be struggling coming out of this thing. I'm not sure if you guys are, but everyone's got a couple of big projects. So I've been putting together these groups to help hold people accountable and, see if there's anything in my realm that we can do, but I think when you lead that way, it's going to be easier to have those conversations. Also, it's always easier when you talk about other people.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, how about this? How about if I screenshot one of the conversations for you? That way we can break it down.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
That way, if there's a yes or a no, either way, we have something to talk about.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I'm down.
Okay. I'll do that. Do you need anything?
No, man, I think I'm good. I've got a pretty stacked day, and those days are usually the best for me because it's just like task and task and task and task and task.
Yeah, you're in the flow.
Yeah, so I got a full week this week, so it'll be good. But yeah, man, let's look at that tomorrow, and then we'll catch up tomorrow and figure out where we are and how we need to adjust and keep going.
Sounds good. I'll see you tomorrow, Bill.
Awesome, Bill. See you.